Everyone on the server was focused on the two-player team known for their daring adventures. They were tackling the toughest mission yet, which had a risk of being locked out of the game if they lost. Known as the strongest team in the game and rumored to be just third graders in real life, Haruto and his mage Sasuke were always seeking greater challenges. They had completed difficult missions before, but now they were after a boss no one had defeated yet. Haruto was eager to win, and Sasuke gifted him a protective ring, causing some playful teasing among the team. Embarrassed, Sasuke left for a moment. When they reached a mission location where many merchants were selling goods, they weren't the only team aiming to defeat the boss. Sasuke searched for Haruto and accidentally heard Asahi confessing feelings to their captain, which upset her, but she kept quiet. In the mission, Asahi's future-seeing ability helped them avoid traps and reach the final area, which looked like ruins. The sight of the boss made them nervous, except for Haruto, who landed the first hit. Taka helped him, but the boss could regenerate, making it hard to defeat. Haruto asked his teammates to lift him up to find the boss' weakness, and Clive immobilized the monster for a moment. Just as Haruto was about to land the final blow, Sasuke got distracted. The boss targeted her. Haruto tried to save her, but was too tired. Sasuke took the fatal hit, dying in-game and shocking everyone. The most devastating moment was when Asahi also died in real life due to the extreme in-game shock. At Asahi's funeral, the team was in disbelief over her death. Taka, angry, pushed Haruto down, blaming him for Asahi's death. For 6 years, Haruto stopped playing the game. One day at breakfast, he saw a TV ad about an updated version of the old game. Players of the old game would get special benefits, but a special device was needed to play. Haruto's school friends, who were new to the game, begged him to help with a mission. Reluctantly, he agreed. In a cave, his friends were too scared to fight monsters, so Haruto took care of it. Suddenly, he was teleported to a room with a single box. Opening it, he was shocked to find Asahi inside, smiling at him. Confused, Haruto wondered if this Asahi was fake because he had seen her die 6 years ago. His friends finished their tasks and left the cave. Asahi laughed when Haruto questioned her, saying people were around. Haruto pulled her aside to talk. Asahi seemed unaware of the past 6 years. Haruto thought the game was bugged. He could log out, but Asahi couldn't. Even the game manager couldn't find Asahi's account. Suddenly, a group of people ran towards them. Haruto didn't recognize one guy, but Asahi did, saying he always had a problem with Haruto. The man's name was Leo. He wanted to invite Asahi to his team, but she refused because she was loyal to her old team, Subaru. Leo didn't believe her, saying that team no longer existed. Asahi told Haruto to handle Leo, who then punched Haruto in the stomach. Haruto was weaker than before, but stood up to protect Asahi. Leo attacked again, but Asahi used her powers to help Haruto dodge. Leo offered them a chance to join him, but they refused. Suddenly, Taka appeared and saved them. He invited Asahi to his guild and also wanted Haruto to join, but he declined, saying their friendship ended 6 years ago. Taka left but told Asahi he'd help if needed. Now, Haruto believed Asahi was real but mourned their old guild. Asahi didn't mind. They could start anew. Back in the real world, Haruto was surprised when Sasuke visited him after 6 years. Sasuke was happy Haruto had returned to the game and wanted to know more. Haruto told her he didn't plan to return and would leave Asahi to Taka. Sasuke got angry and left. The next day, Haruto logged in to introduce Asahi to Sasuke. Sasuke was glad but not thrilled because the real-world Asahi was still dead. Suddenly, they were attacked. Sasuke easily defeated the attackers, but their leader sent another group after Asahi. Taka warned them off. The team returned to their old hangout, but Haruto left to think things over. Suddenly, a mysterious girl appeared to warn Haruto. She told him that all guilds wanted Asahi's power and urged him to protect her and face his past. The next day, Satsuki visited Haruto's house in the pouring rain. She said she'd lost Asahi once and didn't want to lose anyone again. She reminded Haruto about the teen rings, which made him rush to Asahi's grave to dig up a buried ring. He regretted leaving Asahi and vowed to protect her. Nearby, Taka watched but didn't approach. Haruto logged into the game to help Asahi collect magic sap. In the process, she got wet and quickly removed her clothes, causing Haruto to hug her. Asahi said she wanted to see her parents, and Haruto felt he didn't have to pretend to be okay anymore. Back in the real world, Satsuki was feeling nostalgic and sad. She logged in to find Asahi showing off a new ring Haruto gave her. Angry, Satsuki scolded Haruto for putting the ring on Asahi's ring finger. then went off to collect materials for a ring but hesitated to ask Haruto to wear it. The team decided to search for Asahi's lost memories. They returned to the site of their last mission from 6 years ago, but found only ruins. Just as they were about to leave, the mysterious girl reappeared and summoned the boss monster. The team fought hard, but Satsuki and Haruto were immobilized by the boss. Asahi tried to crush it, but also got stunned. Haruto picked up an old ring he had left behind, regained his power, and defeated the boss. Asahi discovered a new ability to share visions of the future. Relieved by Haruto's regained abilities, Satsuki hoped to reform their old team, Subaru. But finding their old friends was difficult. Satsuki noticed an item fall from Asahi, probably a drop from the boss. Suddenly, Asahi collapsed and they saw glimpses of her past memories. They returned to an inn where everyone seemed confused. Satsuki found out that news of their victory had spread quickly, but Haruto was only concerned about helping Asahi log out. On their way to meet an informant, they were ambushed by a guild led by Litos, who demanded they hand over Asahi. Before a fight could break out, Angelus, leader of another guild, intervened. He warned Litos not to touch Asahi and offered Haruto's team a chance to join him. He believed Asahi's return had changed everything and wanted to build an ideal world. Asahi refused, saying she'd only be part of the Subaru team. Angelus didn't push it, but noted that Asahi's presence was affecting the game world. The next day, Satsuki dressed up for a mall outing with Haruto, thinking it was a date, but Haruto just wanted to shop for game equipment. Frustrated, especially when Haruto kept talking about Asahi, Satsuki left. In the game, they decide to revisit their first mission site to search for Asahi's old memories. Satsuki easily defeated the once difficult boss, but its new form released a mist that distracted her, requiring Asahi and Haruto to rescue her. As they left, they found another red stone in the loot, but Taka showed up to steal it. In a secluded space, Taka and Haruto started fighting. Taka knew Haruto couldn't log out and said he'd protect Asahi until he died. The space shattered when Satsuki and Asahi intervened. Taka retreated but hinted he and Satsuki were accomplices, leaving her stunned. Taka returned to his guild, ready to defend Asahi from any threats. Confused about Satsuki's behavior, Haruto and Asahi teleported to another continent to find old teammates Clive and Nozomi, but found nothing. Later, Satsuki logged in, but was distant. While searching for information in a forest, they were suddenly enveloped in thick fog. Haruto turned around to find Satsuki and Asahi had disappeared. Litos showed up and told Haruto that multiple guilds, including Taka's, had joined forces. They were all teleported to different locations. Satsuki faced Danglas, who wanted her in his guild. He gave her a message from Taka saying he'd handle Asahi's issue and she should return to the real world. Angry, Satsuki attacked Dangla's men. Litos couldn't beat Haruto alone, so he sent multiple enemies after him. Just when Haruto was losing, a mysterious guild helped him escape. Asahi confronted Taka, asking him to return to their original guild, but he drugged her. His men, under Dangla's magic, took Asahi away. The next day, Litos and Dangla's guilds announced they'd merged, becoming the strongest on the continent. Haruto reviewed his equipment and left to rescue Asahi. Despite Satsuki's objections, he told her to contact Taka if he failed. Haruto arrived at Dangla's headquarters, ready for battle. In episode 6, Haruto went to war with the rival guild. Satsuki stayed at home, recalling memories, especially the first time Asahi helped their team defeat a boss. She cried as she remembered everyone praising Asahi. Asahi hugged Satsuki, reminding her why she worked so hard to get here. Knowing Satsuki liked Haruto, Asahi hoped they both give their best. Learning Haruto went to save Asahi alone. Taka was pleased. Satsuki felt differently. She wanted both to return safely, vowing to stand by them. At that moment, Haruto was surrounded by enemies and tied up. Suddenly, Taka and Satsuki arrived, helping him break free and storm the enemy base. They found commanders Litos and Angulas there. Angulas had Asahi, making Taka furious. Taka attacked, but Angulas dodged and countered. Haruto tried to help Taka, but had to face Litos, who could also foresee the future, making it a tough fight. Satsuki felt helpless, but refused to lose. She awakened her ultimate power, summoning the 6 elemental kings. With that, defeat for Angulas and Litos seemed certain. Fearing defeat, Angulas used a last resort, unleashing fear he collected for 5 years onto Litos. Asahi broke free, convinced they'd win if united. The red stones glowed, inspiring them with past victories. Together, they defeated Litos and Angulas. Asahi hoped Taka would rejoin them, but he declined, still having his own plans and warning Haruto to stay alive for their future showdown.